Hey everybody, it's Jacob with BizReps, and today I'm here with a real quick video about solar and LED lights in your office and what they can do for you. So let's get right into it. Today I've got 4 quick categories of what you should be looking for when you're thinking about solar and LED in an office. And up to this point, there's been a misconception that LED and solar lights are really only for high bays, industrial settings, warehouses, or things of that nature. But in the 21st century, that's just not the case. So let's get right into it. So our categories today are going to be: what can my office lights do for me? How hard are they to install? Which is a legitimate question. Does it really save money? And then finally, what are my options? Awesome. So now that we've got that written up there, let's get right into the first one. And we're going to be talking about, number one, what can my lights do for me? So, your lights are an asset to your business. If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Everything in your business should be running like a well-oiled machine to make you money. Your lights are 110% a part of that. And up to this point, people haven't thought that way. The light switch is flipped on, it's flipped off. It simply gives you the light to where the money making happens. But in today's day and age, that is not the case. Solar and LED lights can be working for you at all times. And we're going to talk about how they save money, but right now let's talk about the practical side of it. What are they doing as they're shining down from your ceiling of your building? One thing I really want to go into today, and I can make an entire video on this, but there are different intensities, colors of light that are going to be different and affect your employees' mood, productivity, all of those things. So the first thing I want to talk about, and this is something that's maybe near and dear to everybody, is blue light. So blue light is a kind of a blanket term for harmful frequencies of light waves. So I'm going to write a number here. So we've got 300 nm. Nm stands for nanometers. And what we found, and this is backed by science, you can research this on the US Department of Health. They have articles out on this. This is where I found my source. And nanometers are how frequency of lights are measured. And so in the lights that we're having from our ceilings, they're becoming more and more blue to become more like daylight. And LEDs are really good at being bright and white and really lighting up what you need. However, what has been shown is that when we use frequencies in the range of 300 nanometers to produce light, which is natural for some LED lights, unless you've got filters and things of that nature, we're seeing symptoms like insomnia, dry eye, lack of sleep, lack of productivity, motivation, seasonal affective disorder. There's all kinds of things that are being affected by this particular frequency of light being in LEDs that are being put into buildings and offices across the nation. So one thing right off the bat that your LEDs can be doing for you is they can be helping or hurting productivity in your office without you even knowing it. So before you buy a light, make sure you have a look at the frequencies of light that it's using, because if you want a bright white daylight, which most people do, it's going to be important for you to check out the nanometers. So beyond that, I mean, that's a pretty good blanket statement for what lights can be doing in general, because the light coming down from your ceiling in the bigger sense is about affecting the mood and affecting the productivity. And blue light is a great target for you to focus on in order to find a light that's really good for your employees and will make everybody more productive. Beyond that, you can raise light levels with LED lights. Fluorescent tubes and outdated light fixtures have issues with being too dim or dimming over time. When you put them in, maybe they were fantastic, but now 5, 10, 15 years later, they've probably dimmed down to a point that your office looks like a bedroom or a home office, and your Kelvin temperature is so low that it's dark and dim and a little bit depressing even to be in some offices that I've been into. So make sure that you're going to get those light levels up, but when you get bright lights, make sure it's the right kind of light with the right frequencies that are actually going to be helping you, not hurting you. So let's move right along here and go into how hard are they to install, because this is a very legitimate question, and this is one that I feel like light companies don't do a great job of answering. So how hard is it to install solar and LED? So the solar panel is going to go either one up on your roof, or otherwise they're going to be out in a big field. Now if you're going to go the traditional solar route, I can't really speak to that because that has little or nothing to do with your lighting. That's a blanket sort of power solution for your entire facility. You're going to run your meter backwards. I've been over traditional solar before, so if you've watched my videos on it, you know what I'm talking about. But that has more to do with the grid system and the utility than anything to do with your lights. So I'm going to talk about if we're going to connect solar directly to your lights, and at the end I'm going to talk about the functions that can actually do that. So if you're going to run solar power to your lights, you're going to be needing to get that solar power that's being generated from the roof to the lights that are shining in your office. So how hard is that? So there's this great invention that many of us are using, and you're probably staring at it right now out of the corner of your eye. It's your drop ceiling. Your drop ceiling gives you access to your entire building through the ducts and all these things. So the solar panel is going to get mounted to your roof wherever you decide is best. Then you will need 2 wires. And I'm going to draw a very small diagram right here. You might not have been expecting this, but there are 2 wires that need to be ran from the solar panel to the light. It looks just like this. So here's our solar panel, and I'm not an artist here, but here's our solar panel, just like that, right? And then it's mounted to your lovely roof that you paid so much money for, right there, just like that. Out of this is going to be a very small tube of some sort, and the wires are going to come through here, right? The wires from there are going to be ran into a small box, which is going to be mounted up in the drop ceiling. Here's, I'm just going to put box, you know what I'm talking about here. Box is going to be, and then here is our drop ceiling, and we've got our tiles all throughout, right? So from the box, you will need 2 wires. So one right here and one right here. And these 2 wires are going to be ran to all your lights throughout the entire drop ceiling, just like that. You're pulling 2 wires. That's it. We've got our AC that comes from our utility. That's already there. You're not pulling that. That's just going to your new fixture if you're putting them in. Chances are AC is already there and you're just plugging and playing. This other wire here that we're actually pulling down, that's PV, or photovoltaic energy wire. That's the new one. And so that's a metal clad wire. It's not really too complicated, and it's just simply 2 wires you're pulling through the roof. It's very simple. Your electrician can do this in no time. These lights go up very, very fast. There is a very low amount of time lost for installing solar through the drop ceiling. It's very simple. These are 21st century solutions. We knew this was a problem. The industry knew this was a problem. So they simplified it all the way down to just 1 new wire and a low voltage coming through, and these are what's going to be powering your lights. And so in the 21st century, we've got all these things figured out. We've thought about this. So there's no reason to worry that, oh, it's going to take days and days to install solar into my lights. That's just not the case. So now that we've got that squared away and you know, hey, I can install solar and it can be working for me, let's talk about, does it really save money? The answer to that question is absolutely yes, it does. And I'm not going to be focusing on the return on investment right here, because we know that if you install LEDs in place of fluorescents, HIDs, anything else is outdated technology, you're going to see a return on investment very, very fast. You're going to pay off those LED lights very, very fast, right? Now, if you install LEDs and you pay off your LEDs, the savings from a real standpoint stop right there. You're no longer saving money on those LEDs. You're simply paying a lowered premium to turn the lights on, right? However, if you install solar as well as LED, now you're actually displacing a percentage of the light that you would be buying. So we have a brand new number now that we've installed LEDs. So let's kick it down the road 5 years, right? So we've had, let's say you had fluorescents in your drop ceiling and you installed LEDs. In 5 years, you've paid off the solar system as well as the LEDs, and we're going to do this 2 ways. With one, let's say we don't have solar, and in 5 years you paid off your LEDs. You're going to pay $500 a year, right, for those LEDs. Maybe you were paying $2,000 before, but from now on, from 2026 on, if we're 5 years in the future, right, you're going to be paying $500, and this number will not change unless some new technology comes out that's cheaper than that. That's the number you have to pay. Now, let's say the energy bill goes up, right? And so, you know, something happened in 2026. Those same lights are now costing you $1,000 to run, right? So now you have to pay $1,000, which is just about what you were paying with fluorescents. But let's put solar in the equation here and talk about the real savings there. If you're displacing 50% of your light, right? This becomes $250. And as the energy bills are starting to go up, those savings are actually getting better. So now, instead of saving $250 a month, and 50% displaced is actually very low for office lighting. You can probably get closer to 100, but for easy numbers, we're just gonna do it this way. So now you're actually saving double the money because the energy bill has gone up. So exponentially great is the increase in utility cost, also is your savings. So now you're saving $500 a year, a month, whatever this would be, instead of $250 a month. And so although you're losing a little money because your energy bill is increasing, you can't stop that. But what you can do is make money on your money. And if you decide to do this without solar, it's still $1,000. You have to pay the full price of whatever it costs, and you're not going to be really saving any money beyond that. So as you can see, switching to sustainable energy is a great hedge against the future. We know prices are going up. We've seen that, the graphs are out. If you've seen me on LinkedIn, I just reposted an awesome article from somebody that has shown how the price of pretty much everything is going up. All of our utilities are going to be going up this year. We're seeing it happen. Gas prices are going up. Future-proof your business. Start looking at sustainable energy, even if it's just in your lighting. Start making money on increased utility prices because you can. So, all of that being said, what are your options? And today, I'm going to be plugging my favorite product on the market for solar and LED in offices. It's called Fusion. I've talked about it before, and what I have outlined right here, this is the Fusion system, where we're going to be running 2 wires through your ceiling to the office lights. It happens so fast, it's so easy, and we can get far closer to 100% displaced with the Fusion system than with anything else. This is a 21st century solution for a 21st century problem, and I cannot say enough good things about it. If you or somebody you know or your business is ready to start looking at sustainable energy and future-proofing your business, let's schedule an appointment with me so we can talk about how we can help you in your business. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.